But I'm back today. I have a really fun project that I'm going to show you how to do. This is actually probably like 2 or 3 tutorials in one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 3 different color vinyl. This is just Oracal 651, which I linked up top, to the side, wherever. And what we are gonna do is we are going to layer this into one design, and then we are going to put it on a shirt. Melissa, Oracal doesn't go on shirts, silly. Yes, it does. It can, and it's a perfect time of year for you to use Oracal temporary as a temporary design on a shirt, because, I mean, I made this shirt, which is bleached, and it doesn't come off. And I'm sorry, but I'm probably not gonna wear this shirt outside of like October, right? So that's what ends up happening with like festive type shirts, birthday shirts, holiday shirts, different things like that. You end up, anything that says like 2021, you're not gonna wear it again, right? So if you use temporary vinyl, when I say temporary, I mean removable adhesive, as opposed to heat transfer vinyl, you can actually take it off. It works perfectly for costumes and things that you just, you know, want to get more wear out of later on. So I've already, this design that I am using comes from the same little mini set that this one comes in, because I'm going to do a cool little like witch design. I've already cut the design. I weeded part of it. I didn't weed one part because I want you guys to see how this kind of comes together, but I didn't want to take time cutting and weeding everything. So I kind of prepped a little bit of it, and we're going to layer it first. So that will be the first part of the tutorial, and then we are going to put it on our shirt. Okay, so you'll be able to kind of see how this whole thing comes together. So if you're interested in the design that I do, which says Head Witch, it comes, again, it was part of the one that came with this one, which again, the way I made this bleach shirt is also with temporary vinyl. I used that as a stencil, put that on bleach, and then peeled it off. This is the same type of concepts, except in this case, we're gonna use this as the design. Okay, so I have a sweatshirt here, brand new, that I'm going to use. So I'm gonna pull you down to my craft table so you guys can get a better view of what I'm doing, and we will go from there. So like I said, I have parts of my design already cut, 2 of the 3 pieces already weeded and everything. So we'll use those in a second. But first I need to weed my last piece, this purple sheet, all right? So I like to work on, as you can tell what this is, a very sticky mat. And there's a reason for that. You can tell this came off a roll. These all came off these 6-foot rolls. And so the vinyl, once it's cut, it likes to keep curled up, and I don't like it to be curled up. I need it to be flat while I'm weeding and layering, okay? Now, we have registration marks on here too. Those are the little squares that you're gonna see. And that is what is going to allow me to line this whole multicolored design up, okay? So if you're just joining, we are working with adhesive vinyl. This is Oracal 651, and we are actually going to use this on a shirt, okay? Now, I know that some of you are going to tell me that I wasted a lot of vinyl. You have to kind of, this ends up happening when you use registration marks, okay? So, but the thing is, the registration marks are what allow you to line this all up so perfectly. Okay, so let me just weed out these little innards here. Okay, now, when you're layering, you need to determine what layer goes on top. Now, in this situation, none of the layers of vinyl are actually physically layered on top of each other, so it does not actually matter which one we pick up first. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab our transfer tape. You can still see, right? I can get you any higher. Okay, so I've got my purple one here. I like to work with my registration marks closest to me, okay? And this is transfer tape. I link to this as well. You wanna work with a piece of transfer tape that is larger than your largest piece, okay? Because eventually this is all going to end up on one sheet. So I'm just gonna trim this down a little bit. It's not easy to work with a really oversized piece of transfer tape. So I like to trim down and make it as close to the size of the design as I can without going too small. Okay, so we got, I think I can trim a little bit more here. All right, now if you're wondering, if you're new and you have never used and you've never layered vinyl before with registration marks, these are different than print and cut registration marks, okay? So I just made these in Silhouette Studio using the Draw a Square tool, all right? That's all I did. Okay, so now I'm going to peel up my transfer tape, okay? And this part's really important. I'm going to keep the backing of my transfer tape, okay? So keep that because you'll need it for your next layer. All right, now I'm just going to lay my transfer tape down onto the vinyl, okay? And I'm going to, usually I like really do a good like burnishing, and you do want it to come up on the transfer tape, but you also want to make sure that you don't have it stuck so adhesively, strongly, I don't know what the word is, that it doesn't come off when you're going to put it on your shirt. Yes, we are putting this on a shirt. Okay, so next thing we want to do is we want to put our next piece of vinyl on this cutting mat to work. Okay, this mat is really sticky. Okay, again, I'm going to put my piece of vinyl down. Now, what I did, this whole design, and again, it's a little difficult to explain if you're not totally familiar with how to do this in Silhouette Studio. It's very difficult for me to show this part of the process in a Facebook Live. But what these registration marks are the same on all of the layers. So basically I cut by color, and I had the registration marks in Silhouette Studio a different color, and I told the software, cut the orange layer and these were red. Okay, and then on the purple one, I said cut the purple and the red. And on the green one, I said cut the green and the red. So that way the registration marks end up with all of my layers. Now, what you can see, this is the backing of the transfer tape, waxy side up. I am covering the entire part of the design except the registration marks. This is going to just allow me, hopefully you can see, to have a little bit of an opportunity here that in case this vinyl piece folds down onto itself, it doesn't hit the orange layer until I'm ready. Now I'm lining up the registration marks. So the purple ones should be directly over the orange ones, okay? And once they are, you see now, and I have this piece over here, so it's protecting. Now I'm going to take my protective sheet out, and now I'm going to roll this down, all right? And I'm gonna pick up the orange layer on this same piece of transfer, okay? So this is how we're layering our design. Okay, and I need to do this one final time. Make sure the registration marks come back with you because we need those for the green layer too. So make sure they come up with you. You don't want to lose those. That's the most important part. Let's see. Come on. You got it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're kind of encourage them to come up with us. Okay, so we've got purple and orange now on the same sheet. Okay, and we'll put that to the side. Do you see why it's easiest now if I work on my cutting mat? This mat's getting a little abused here. It's really sticky. I don't use it to cut for this reason. Okay, and then the final layer of my green. Now, I also am going to want to protect this down here because I know my transfer tape is going to end up down there. So we just want to make sure that this doesn't get stuck to the mat. Okay, so then we take that same piece of protective layer, wax side up, in case it gets stuck. Put that there temporarily until we are able to, what's this piece? That's extra. Until we are able to line up those registration marks. Again, this time it's going to look like purple over green. Okay, and once we've got those on there, remove our little protective sheet, okay, and we'll lay this one down. See how the orange went right in where it should, okay? And now this time we're gonna pick up the green piece. Okay, so now our entire design is on one piece of transfer. Okay, now we don't need the registration marks anymore. All right, now, usually you would put an adhesive vinyl decal on, you know, a hard surface. But as we've been talking about, we are going to actually use it on a sweatshirt and make this, because this is a temporary design that I'm really not going to be wearing a Head Witch sweatshirt, you know, a whole lot outside of, you know, Halloween. Although maybe my children and my husband might say it's appropriate other times. I don't know. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we've got our design here. You can actually, if you wanna go one step further, you can actually use your cutting mat again underneath the sweatshirt. Oh man. Okay, well, I'll have to deal with this afterwards, but this will do the same thing. It'll keep our sweatshirt in place, help us get a nice flat surface, okay? And avoid some of the wrinkles. Now, if you want, you can fold this in half to find the middle, okay? And this sweatshirt, you guys can see, has like a little triangle there. So I'm just going to line up the middle with that. And I'm gonna place this directly onto my shirt, okay? Now, I'm gonna use a brayer to just really encourage that vinyl, adhesive vinyl here. We're just doing vinyl here to stick. And I'm going to work with my scraper, pull in a diagonal direction. You wanna pull, see how I have this folded? This is a tight fold you wanna peel back. If you peel back like this, you're gonna have a much tougher time. Peel really tight. Keep this like a fold, okay? And just work very slowly, pulling back the transfer. Look, I've got these little circles and everything. They're all sticking, okay? Now I'm using 651 here, so if you're like, Melissa is off her rocker, why is she using adhesive vinyl on a shirt? Well, I don't want to quote unquote waste a shirt on a very temporary design. Again, if you're just joining, this is a perfect technique for things like, you know, a New Year's Eve party where if your design says 2021 in it, I mean, what are you going to do next year, right? Like you got to make a whole new shirt. Well, in this case, you could use the shirt once, remove the vinyl. It'll be totally fine, you know, for the night or one or two wears, whatever. Obviously, you're not putting this through the laundry like this, okay? So now there is our shirt. And you can just wear this like you would a shirt that has HTV. And when you're ready, you can just peel that HTV off. I mean, not that HTV, you can peel that vinyl off, okay? So super cute. Obviously, you could do this in any color design you want. I picked color vinyl that I had. I'm just using 651. These are rolls of 651 that I cut and all layered using registration marks, okay? All right, you guys, if you're interested in making a Halloween shirt like this, if you're interested in making any type of, you know, temporary shirt, adhesive vinyl is a really, really good option. This design on this shirt and the design on the shirt that I'm wearing here, which again was done with the same technique. If you went one step further, and I wouldn't do all the layering, all the different color layering, but use like a brown or whatever color vinyl you don't want to use a lot. This shirt that I'm wearing was done the exact same way with adhesive vinyl, and then I squirted on bleach and then peeled it off, and that's how I got this effect here, okay? This is permanent because once I removed it, it was done. But both of these designs are from the October bundle on So FONTSY. They are included. There's a little mini Halloween set in there, and they're both part of it. So if you have a last minute costume, if you have a last minute party to